When I got a 5 o'clock flight, you checking me in at the airport. Ask me how I'm doing. Unstoppable. Security. We can stop this guy. This is what we've trained for. Let's have a special TSA meeting. We can do this. The big black guy in the African outfit. So y'all see me getting tasered on the news. To do the incredible, you all have to dream the impossible. To do the incredible, you've got to dream the impossible. How many of y'all would honestly tell me about 120? Who's tired? Anybody tired? What do young people in particular tend not to do the night before that makes you all tired? One of the hardest lessons for a lot of y'all to learn is when to go to bed at night. Ever been in a room full of people, everybody tired, but nobody wanted to be the first one to leave? And as soon as somebody says, I'm out of here, everybody, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too. I know you all have never experienced this, but you know people who have. Remember this sleep in school? Isn't this the worst sleep in the world, by the way? But have you noticed at the end of that class you had all the energy in the world? You were dying for an hour, or however long your class is. Please, Lord, just let me get through this. I don't hang out with you often, but I show up this Sunday. Just let me. I'll see y'all Friday. Oh, hell yeah. Woo, how we doing, man? All right. I say that to tell you all this. This thing we call a brain is the ultimate computer. All them toys y'all playing with, by the way, you got too many toys. We've lost the ability to talk to each other now. Y'all sitting in a room, she's here, she's down there, they're texting each other. We've got to learn to get back and enjoy the moment. Everything you do, you need to somehow savor it. You ever go to a wine tasting? I'm a ghetto boy from Chicago. I found it to be the weirdest experience probably I'd had up to that point. No, I'm drinking it. First wine tasting I went to, they had about 5 stations set up. So Steve, being the Steve that I hit each station repeatedly. You're not supposed to go to all. Oh, I didn't know. But literally, savor the moment. Don't y'all see people at basketball games on TV texting? You watching Kobe Bryant, but you're on the phone. Girl, that's Kobe Bryant. Girl, he's dunking. Girl, I'm watching the game on TV. I saw it. But enjoy the moment. Whatever you're doing, try to enjoy it. And learn how to communicate with people. Y'all putting your relationships on Facebook talking about it's complicated. Recognize this. Anytime you interact with another person, guess what it is? Complicated. There are women in the world who get mad because a man does not put the toilet seat down. Ladies, barring injury, if your habit is to back butt naked into a dark room and sit on a toilet, you should fall in. You should fall in. Cut the damn light on and put the toilet down. There are some people who argue about the direction of the toilet. And by the way, when the direction of the toilet tissue is a big thing in your life, you live in large. Because again, once it rolls off, you're still going to do with it whatever you do with it. I don't know how much longer it takes to get it off from the top or the bottom. I lived with 3 women for a long time. 2 daughters and a wife. And so I'm trained. Shoot, I live by myself. My friends come on, why is your toilet tissue rolling over the top? It don't take you no longer to get it off of there than it do. But these are the issues that we freak out over. Little crazy, insignificant stuff we make important. To the women in the room, how many of y'all independent women? Well, the independent women. Ladies, don't be so independent that you forget how to be interdependent in a relationship. Some of y'all going to be by yourself because you're so damn independent. I'll kill you. Particularly y'all military women. I know the same stuff you do. A couple years ago, Destiny's Child was singing a song telling women to find somebody to pay their bills. Then 2 years ago, they had the song out saying the next you were replaceable. The next man would be here in a minute. And I was telling women all over the country, if my woman told me the next man is coming here in a minute, I'm staying for at least 2, because I want to know who's walking up in this mug. I want to know who's coming up in here. And in that song, she talked about all my stuff fit in one box. Well, if you meet me and you met me and all my stuff fit in one box, but I wake up one day and I'm your man, is that my fault or yours? You hooked up with a one-box man. Don't be mad at me. I was honest with you. All my stuff fit in a box. To the fellas, don't be insecure. I don't understand men in America right now who are intimidated because their woman or their partner makes more money than them. If you my woman and you make $120,000 and I make 20, we make 140. Life is good. Life is good. I'm trying to get Oprah to marry me. She won't respond. I'll be writing her all the time. I'm sure I'm borderline stalking. If Stedman don't love you, I will. Why you let that man pimp you all these years, baby? You need a man who's going to rub your feet during the commercial break. Because, shoot, I'll be Mr. Winfrey. Next time he introduced me, I'll be Steve Winfrey. One thing, fellas, my manhood is never on trial. See, when your manhood is never on trial, you don't get caught up in petty foolishness. To the men and the women in the room, define your manhood and womanhood from your neck up, not your waist down. We got too many people out there trying to define their manhood and womanhood from their waist down. Define it from your neck up. As long as you're doing this, things will be okay. But once we start getting down here, strange stuff happens. Strange stuff happens. How many of you, I talked a little bit about diversity in the early one. I'm going to touch on this quickly. Most of the problems that we have with people who are different from us are simply because we all fear the unknown. We all fear the unknown. How many of you will admit to being afraid of the dark when you were a child? But for some of y'all now, isn't the dark your friend? Didn't some good happen for you one day in the dark? And all of a sudden now, that's why they came with the clapper, so it get dark quicker. But at first you were scared of the dark. Then all of a sudden it was like, ooh, the dark. Some good stuff can happen in the dark. Any parents in here? Any of the parents with their hands up ever do the Lord's Prayer thing with their kids before they would go to bed at night? Any of that? Y'all, why were y'all surprised that your kids wouldn't go to sleep? There's a line in there that says, if I should die before I wake. Every night you are traumatizing your child. Stevie, if you should die before you wake, won't be doing any dying if I don't do any sleeping. 3 o'clock in the morning, cut that TV off. I'm not dying for you, mother. Then you wonder why your child be looking at you like this. How crazy a country are we? Did y'all notice a couple years ago we woke up and they had taken away Pluto's status as a planet? What the hell did Pluto do different than Pluto had ever done? Somebody got a new telescope, looked at Pluto, and didn't have nothing else to do. A friend of mine who's an intellectual was like, well, Steve, Pluto no longer has the necessary prerequisites to be a planet. What? This is the world y'all playing in. This is the world. I was telling some of the guys who were here before you all got here. The whole flying thing is amazing to me. I'm scared of heights, but since I have to fly for a living, I'm cool in the plane. Still to this day don't understand them little wheels on that big plane. You would think they would have Hummer-type wheels on these planes. Affirmation. 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 Check your anatomy. 2 ears, 1 mouth. We're supposed to listen twice as much as we talk. How many of y'all got friends talk all the time? Just know everything. It don't matter what the topic is, they're expert. You can start talking about Croatian jumping jacks. My grandfather used to talk about those. I'm like, what? Don't matter what you talk about, they're an expert. And the reality is they don't know much of anything about anything. One skill that all of us need to develop is our ability to listen. It will save us so many problems and headaches. Anybody here in a relationship? Just learn to listen, particularly the men. Learn to listen. If we listen, a lot of problems just fade away because she'll tell you what she wants. She will. She'll be like, Steve, I like a man who make me laugh. I'm like, ding. And by the way, that's how I always got over, because women always say, like, I can make you laugh. With a good job, I'll work on it. I always make this comment. If you ever really want to find true love in your life, you've got to be willing to risk pain. Love and pain go hand in hand. Too many of us get our hearts broke, and then we put a force field up. And when you put the force field up, you block your next blessing. Treat your social life like you would treat jumping on a plane. You have to leave your baggage at the door. Have to leave your baggage at the door. Too often we let our past mess up our future. I want that. I'm a romantic at heart. I like that slow motion kind of love, where you see her and you just running at her. Y'all just running to each other in slow motion. She's like, oh, hell yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And by the way, I used to do that. I used to travel, get out, before 9/11, when they let the people be there at the gate when you got off. One day my girlfriend was waiting there, and I started running toward her, and she started running the other way like, you were crazy. Have you lost your mind? But seriously, at 21, 22, whatever you're doing right now age-wise, you can't give up on love. Having the right person in your life makes a bad day good and a good day great. It's just something about being able to talk to somebody about real stuff. Damn academy is driving me crazy. I almost killed my general. I told him if he get his old ass in my face one more time. But I ain't say it out loud. I thought it. And she's like, Steve, calm down. Because, see, never forget, too, you do what you have to do today so you can do what you want to do tomorrow. You do what you have to do today. Don't y'all do some stuff in this academy? Y'all like, why the hell are we doing this? But you figured out to get out of the academy, you do it, don't you? I was telling somebody earlier, I played baseball in high school. We had to run a 6.5-minute mile to make the baseball team. I asked my coach, where in the hell on a baseball field do you run a mile? If I got to run a mile, we got a big problem, coach. But there I was for 3 years. And by the way, I never ran the 6.5-minute mile. My mile was always 6:45. But I never ran my mile while the coach was there. I always ran my mile when the team captain had the clock, because we were friends. Birdine, 6.5. Every year, coach was like, Birdine, you barely make it every year, but I'm here for you, coach. Waiting to run that mile. Hoping it's me hitting that ball and they expanded the bases or something. Affirmation. 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 Americans have learned that most of you will get further ahead lying than telling the truth. You've already learned you get further ahead lying than telling the truth. Anybody in here married? Again, anybody here in a relationship? To the men in particular, what do you do when your significant other says, how do I look in this? We pause. It's a microsecond pause. We think, how long have I known her? How long do I want to know her? And in what future capacity do I want to know her? That looks nice. I call it a pause of concern. We already do it with people we know. We need to extend that to people that we don't know. 99% of the people we meet in our lives are decent people, but understand this, we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, so stop expecting other people to be perfect. Tiger Woods never told you he was perfect. Tiger Woods told you, mess with me on a golf course, I'm whooping your ass. But he never looked at you and said, I'm a perfect man. That was some stuff y'all built up in your mind. I never cared what he did off the golf course. He didn't do it with me. Now I wish I was hanging with him. I'd be like, damn, Tiger, can I have leftovers? But we mad at Tiger for stuff that's really none of our business. Tiger's a golfer. That's his job. Tiger has not had dinner with any of us. None of us are on the agenda to get invited. But we want to be mad about Tiger Woods having an affair. Some of the companies that cut him loose, the people running those companies having affairs. But that's the arrogance of the place that we live. You got all these religious people doing all kind of devilish stuff. Those of you in this room claiming religion, stop trying to convert other people and just be the best rep for your religion that you can be. You live it. Because if you live it, I might like it. If you're telling me are you a religious person? What religion? Be a good Christian. Don't sin for 6 days and then go beg for forgiveness on Sunday. Don't do that, because I'm looking at you like, man, that's Christianity? I'm going to scratch that one off. Next. What are you, Muslim? Okay, what you doing? Oh, damn, you crazy too. What year were you born? 91. Y'all saying that like y'all old. 91, oh my God. 1991, we're gonna let you live to 2091. You're going to do 100. But understand this with our lives, folks. This not important, this not important. The only thing that's important is that dash. That dash represents your life. How do you want to be remembered when you leave this place? When Kennedy died a few months ago, they interrupted this newscast to bring you a special news bulletin. Kennedy is dead. That's how I want to go. That's why I tell people at the airlines, I'm not blowing up no plane when they searching me. I'm not blowing up this plane. I want an open casket. I do. I want some woman crying. I want her, oh, baby, come on back. I'm not blowing up no plane. That's painful. I'm scary. I don't do, what are the horror movie fans? Any horror movie fans? I don't understand it at all. Why do you want that in your psyche? I don't want to be walking around this building and you jump out behind a corner with a hacksaw. How many of y'all play video games? How many of y'all play games where you kill stuff? Y'all done killed 1 million things in your life already. You already prepared. You ever playing with somebody as serious as you? Y'all sitting there sweat flying. I spoke at a school and there were no African American men at the presentation. I was like, where are the men? Halo 3 came out today, Steve. What? They're all playing Halo 3. They're having a Halo 3 marathon. Don't they own the game? Didn't that mean they could have done that after I left? They're consumed, Steve. This is the kind of stuff that we do. Affirmation. Action. Affirmation. Action. Affirmation. Action. Quick exercise. Can you all see over there? 20 seconds to read that. Count how many times you find the letter F as in Frank. F as in Frank, keep it to yourself.